Bait is in. Look at that, healthy. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Rod Slinger Outdoors. Hey, today we're going to be doing a little DIY. I had to think about it, DIY. We're going to show you how to make a cooler into a live well. It's going to be a pretty quick process. We've got an old cooler, and I've actually already bought the pump. I've actually put it on the boat, and I'll show you that a little bit later after I get this part done. But want to show you really how to put a cheap way to make a live well that works pretty well. I'm actually modifying what I've done before, and I'll show you some of that. But I've got this cooler. Got a cooler here, and you know, just a regular old cooler. Uh-oh, it's gonna fall over. Regular old cooler. Put a little shred thin fishing sticker on it, and yeah, support those guys. They're awesome guys. You can actually save some money when you use shred 15, I think is the code that I've got. But anyway, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna show you how to make this and save you guys some money. Hang on. All right, so when I bought the pump that I've got on the boat, it actually came with this plastic hose, and that's what was supposed to be used. And I've used it. I actually modified it a little bit. I actually took a little PVC pipe, put an end cap on it, drilled some holes in it, and they don't have to be perfect, but drilled some holes in it, and that's what I've been using. But the problem is I couldn't get it to mount into the cooler without poking holes in the cooler, drilling some holes in the cooler, and I didn't want to do that. So I've been using this for a while. The pump works great, everything works great, but I wanted to come up with something different, and that's what I'm about to show you. Check this out. So hey, I went to Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, I don't remember, Home Depot, Lowe's, either one. I picked up an end cap. All right, but first of all, I had to get some pipe. So this was just some standard pipe. You can see it is NSF. It is, I think it's a 1/2 inch PVC. But I know that that's gonna fit into the pump that I've got, because this end right here is what went into the pump. So what I would do is take this end right here, I would run it down to the end of this, and I would have my pipe running. So I would have my aeration, you know, pumping water back into the filter. It was all well and good, but like I said, it kept falling over. It kept getting, I mean, this is a pretty long hose, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I like the hose because it's easy to drain the pump at the end of the day. So what I did is I went and bought 2 of these 1/2 inch. They're probably, I don't know, 3 feet long, maybe. I'm gonna cut them down to size. I got a elbow, and I got an end cap. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with this, and it's gonna be sturdy, and it's gonna hold up, and it's gonna be something that's gonna save me some money on a live well until I can get one installed in the boat. Who knows when that's gonna be? So we're gonna make this work, and we're gonna show you how it works. We're gonna show you some stuff on the water too. Hang tight, let me show you what we're doing. So like I said, you really don't need a lot of materials. I've got a little saw that'll help me cut some straights. I've got a ruler. We've got a couple of pieces of PVC pipe. Those are 1/2 inch, because I know they work with the pump I've got. I've got an elbow, and I've got an end cap. All that's gonna be important. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna move all this stuff down, open up the cooler. I know that the pump actually sits about this high, so you've got the intake on the bottom and then the outtake on the top, and this pipe will sit inside that outtake. So what we wanna do is make sure we measure so we know how much of this pipe we're gonna cut. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's get a measurement inside the all right, so we know we got 15 inches, because I want it to be about here. You can see about here is where I want it to be as far as the top. So I've got a little bit of play at the very top, because this does have a, it kind of cuts in a little bit on the very top of the cooler. So I'm gonna come in about 14.5 inches. So I know that I got 14.5, but then I also know that I'm probably going to be sitting somewhere around 12.5 inches, because I've still got to account for the pump that's going to be sitting in the bottom. So we're going to come up about 12 inches. So I'm going to need about 12.5 inches of pipe to do the first part. So let me show you what we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to measure out about 12.5 inches of pipe. So I've got my PVC here, got my 12.5 inches. Let's just go, it doesn't have to be scientific, it's gonna be somewhere in that area, because once again it's a cooler that's being turned into a live well. So anywhere in that range is gonna be fine. I'm gonna bolt this down into here so that it will stay. It won't shift on me. I'm just gonna go to the center. Hopefully you're seeing all of this. So I've marked off 12 and a half or so. I'm gonna mark this in here so this is in place. I'm gonna put this pin here so that it will hold a little bit. So that will not move. I don't want that pipe to move at all as I'm cutting. I'm gonna get my saw. What I do with my saw, it's right here. I'm gonna come in. Pretty simple process from here. Not a very expensive cutting board. Just gonna start cutting. So the cool thing about this is I can actually use my cooler as my table to cut with. I know this was the end that I don't need. This is the end I do need. So we've got a 12-inch cut. I could sand this down a little bit and clean it up if I wanted to. I'm just gonna use my fingers for now and just kind of clean it up because I'm just gonna show you what we're doing. I'm gonna set this off to the side. Now I know I've got my 12, as you can see, or so inches. It's gonna come up almost perfectly to where I want it. Here's where it gets really simple. I'm gonna put my elbow on. I'm gonna show you with this one that I've already drilled. I think I want it to be a little bit longer though. I think I want it to sit in there a little bit longer. Just pop this in. I already have the end cap on. This is gonna go into the pump, right into the pump, and I'm gonna have my live well, and I can twist this and point those flows any way that I want to point them. Now I'm not gonna have a hose. This kept getting in my way when I was trying to net out my bait, etc., etc. Now I'm not gonna have that. I'm gonna have a really sturdy way, and I can still keep this hose, and I can empty my live well at the end of the day with the pump by just putting this inside the pump and exiting all the water back out of the live well. So pretty simple process. I think I spent, I think these were $3 a piece. So let's say I've got what, 12 bucks in this, maybe not even that. Probably about 8 bucks in the entire project plus the pump. I mean, you obviously got to buy a pump, and I'll show you the pump that I've got. I'm going to set this up on the boat next, and you can kind of see how it's working. But it's a pretty simple process, but I just saved some good money with making my own live well. So let's show you how it works. All right, guys, so it's time for the moment of truth. I've got my cooler back out, and I've put my pump in, and all we have to do is try to set this in there. Like I said, I'd already drilled the holes into this from the previous one. To do, slide this into the pump like so, straighten her up, and yeah, I think we are good to go, guys. I think we're gonna be happy with this. So it's gonna set in there, closes up. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's go get some bait and let's check this thing out. All right, guys, the moment of truth. I got my water in. Let's turn her on and see what happens. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we're set. Now comes the bait. Bait is in. Look at that, healthy, ready to go. Close her up, let's go fishing. Well, guys, it's been 4 hours. And look at that bait just swimming around. Look at that, working like a charm. And I haven't had to readjust. Everything is working just as it should. I'm pleased.